What you are about to hear is real. Every detail in this investigation is documented with court records, newspaper archives, and police files. What is not documented is who did it. May 23, 1918. Joseph Maggio and his wife Catherine are found in their bedroom by Joseph's brothers who live next door. Both have been struck with an axe. Both have had their throats cut with a razor. Catherine is already dead. Joseph dies shortly after. The responding officers find the back door undisturbed. A panel has been chiseled out of the lower section, cleanly, deliberately, large enough for a person to crawl through. Inside the house, nothing disturbed, nothing taken. The axe is found discarded in the bathroom, clean. On the pavement outside, someone has written in chalk, "Mrs. Maggio is going to sit up tonight just like Mrs. Tony." Nobody knows what it means. Nobody knows who wrote it. The Maggio brothers are briefly suspected, then cleared. The case goes cold within weeks. 6 days later, the city has almost forgotten about it. Then it happens again. Louis Bessumer is a grocer. On June 27, 1918, his neighbor hears screaming. Bessumer and a woman named Harriet Lowe are found inside, both struck with an axe. Harriet Lowe dies from her injuries weeks later. Before she dies, in a moment that investigators never fully explain, she accuses Bessumer of being a German spy. He is arrested. He is eventually acquitted. The real attacker is never identified. August 5th. Mrs. Edward Schneider is found by her husband when he returns home, 8 months pregnant, beaten with an axe. She survives. She gives birth days later. She cannot describe her attacker. August 10th. Joseph Romano, 67 years old, is killed in his bed. His 2 nieces hear the attack and see a figure leaving the room, large, dark, wearing a dark suit. They cannot provide further detail. The panel cut from the back door, the axe left behind, clean. By this point, the city is paying attention. Police are under pressure, and the attacks keep coming. The pattern is consistent across every scene. Entry through a chiseled door panel, an axe sourced from within the property. No fingerprints, no witnesses who can provide a usable description, nothing taken. Whoever this is, they are organized. On March 13, 1919, every newspaper in New Orleans receives the same letter. It is dated from hell. It is signed, The Axeman. The letter opens by claiming the writer is a demon, not a human being, a demon. It references the ongoing attacks and states that the Axeman has been among the people of New Orleans for a long time. It then makes a specific announcement. On the night of Tuesday, March 19th, St. Joseph's night, the Axeman will pass through the city. He will spare any home from which jazz music can be heard. Any home that is silent, he will visit. The letter is dismissed by some as a hoax. The police publicly state they do not believe it is genuine, but New Orleans does not take the chance. On the night of March 19, 1919, every jazz club in the city is packed beyond capacity. Music pours from open windows into the street. Bands play through the night. Residents who own no instruments hire musicians to play in their homes. The city fills with sound. Not one person is attacked that night. Whether the letter was genuine, whether the Axeman simply chose not to act, or whether the whole event was an elaborate manipulation, nobody knows. What is documented is this: the letter predicted the city's behavior with complete accuracy. Whoever wrote it understood New Orleans, and whoever wrote it was watching. August 10th, 1919. Steve Boker is attacked in his home. He survives but cannot identify his attacker. September 1919. A young woman named Sarah Lauman is found unconscious, attacked in her bed. She survives. She remembers nothing. October 27th, 1919. Mike Pepitora and his wife are attacked. Both survive. Mike Pepitora later claims he fought off the attacker and fired a shot at him as he fled through the back door. After October 1919, the attacks stop completely. No more chiseled door panels. No more clean axes left at the scene. No more letters. The Axeman simply ceases to exist. The investigation, which had never gained significant traction, collapses entirely. No arrests are made in connection with the Axeman killings. No suspect is ever charged. The case files are archived. The city moves on. Over the decades, investigators, journalists, and historians have proposed several suspects. None have been proven. Here is what the evidence actually supports. The first theory centers on the Italian community. Several of the victims were Italian grocers, the Maggios, the Romanos, the Bisumas. Some investigators proposed a mafia connection, that the attacks were targeted killings disguised as the work of a random predator. This would explain the consistency of the methodology and the apparent selection of victims. It would not explain the letter. The second theory is a single unknown individual with no established motive beyond the killings themselves. The letter, the jazz night, the apparent awareness of public reaction, these suggest someone who was following the coverage closely and enjoyed the attention. This profile fits a pattern that forensic investigators would now recognize immediately. In 1919, the science did not exist to pursue it. The third theory, which gained traction in the 1990s, points to a man named Joseph Momfrey. A woman named Pepitora, wife of the final surviving victim, allegedly shot and killed a man named Momfrey in Los Angeles in 1920, claiming he was the Axeman. She served a prison sentence. The problem: no corroborating record of a Joseph Momfrey has ever been found in any archive. The story may be entirely fabricated. It may be the closest thing to a confession that exists. Nobody knows. What the evidence does support is this: the killer had knowledge of the city's layout, the habits of the victims, and the mechanics of entry that suggests either prior surveillance or existing familiarity with the properties. The chiseling of the door panels alone, clean, deliberate, leaving no useful evidence, points to either significant preparation or significant experience. This was not random. Whatever it was planned. The Axeman of New Orleans has never been identified. The case has never been officially closed. The door panel method, the clean axe, the letter, all of it remains in the file, unexplained, unsolved. 106 years later, nobody knows who did this. New Orleans still has the letter. The newspapers that printed it are archived. The jazz played that night is documented. The victims are documented. The wounds are documented. The chiseled door panels are documented. The only thing that was never documented was him. If you like the darker side of history, hit subscribe. New stories out every week.